All right, guys. So here is an example of kind of how to do this from the beginning. We're going to go ahead and use the way. We're going to just go to regular caucus map. I'm doing the US, and we'll just go ahead and load it in real quick. And really, the whole point of showing you this in detail is because there's some people that are some veteran flyers that I fly with that are that just know the stuff pretty well, and they don't seem to need this to be that effective. But since I've only been playing DCS for about a year and a half, once I learned how to use this, a buddy of mine that I fly with showed me how to do it. Big shout out to Mav, and he walked me through it one time. Didn't really understand it the first time, but then he was gracious enough to sit with me and figure it out. And there were still some glitches that I had to work out why my plane was not necessarily dropping the bombs. So there is kind of a specific setup, so that's why we're going to go ahead and run through this real quick. So we're just going to go ahead and load in to an F-18. This is cross-platform from some helicopters to a couple of different units. This might be pretty loud, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to options, volume, turn this down so we're not having this blast our ears. Okay. Alright, first things first, what we're going to do, let's go ahead and back up so we can see everything. This is basically, it's a hot start, so we're just going to turn on our regular systems, but before we do anything, I'm just going to show you what we need to do to set this up. So you're going to want to launch the way. On the previous part of the video I showed you how to install it. So if you get this up here and this is working, what we have to do is simply just go to the F10 map, and we will be looking at where we are. And I said Sakumi is pretty much the fastest way we need to get there. So normally most people would sit there and they grab this tool, they would draw kind of a relative angle to right here, but I think what we want to do is instead of going to Sakumi because there's so many people over there, I'm actually going to go to this roadblock over here. So it looks like it's about 65 nautical miles, which is plenty of time, and you got to keep this in mind. You want to be able to fly high enough and get some altitude so you're out of range from some SAM sites and those type of things. So we're going to go to this particular location. This is going to be a good thing. So what we're going to do is just zoom in like you would, and let's go find the targets. They're pretty clustered. And there's a ton of SA5s. These are going to be perfect. So this will kind of also tell us what we should load in and load out with, like these particular things on this bridge right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Start Selecting on Map. And once you do that, you're going to get this little pink dot. Now, if you don't have this pink dot and you're using multiple monitors and you notice the pink dot is over on, like, say, your left monitor or in your right monitor, you need to make sure that your monitor under your screen settings is considered to be, like, for example, let me bring this up real quick. Let's see. Okay, this is just a quick little thing of what the dot was in the center, just to break away. If you are noticing on multiple monitors that your pink dot is on your left or on your right screen, it will not work. It has to be over the map. So you would want to right click on your desktop and go to Display Settings. And then you would want to make sure that whatever your center monitor is, that's what the map is going to be. So you'd scroll down, you'd select that, and then you would want to make sure that Make This My Main Display is checked. That's the whole thing about that. Because if it's on the left, for example, on this screen, then the pink dot will be on the left and it will not be selecting on top of the map. So just make sure that you do that. Basically what we want to do is, this pink dot is going to be where you are going to put on the targets. Now you have to be careful about how far you get from these targets. Like, you can see pretty much all these guys are going to be clustered right next to each other, so you don't need to mark each individual one because they're only a few meters away from each other. These guys you would want to mark separately. Okay, so there's a lot of nasty stuff out here. These can sometimes be in a little bit harder to see locations, but they're all pretty close. So we probably want to have some cluster bombs for that. These right here, we're going to want something that's going to be a little bit more robust, probably a 2,000 pound or something like that. But we'll just go ahead and put it in the middle, like right over the top. The reason you want to put it on the top and not on it is because what you're going to do is you're going to be so far away. You're going to be like 40 miles away when you finally see these things. They are going to be like pixels on a screen. They're going to be totally tiny. And the thing that you're going to see in its replacement is you're going to see the diamond for the waypoint that you're going to be creating. And so if you put it right over the top or in front of it, the diamond will actually be in front of the object you're trying to target and designate. So you want to put it just a bit behind it. And that'll give you the general direction of where that's going to be. So to get that, all we do is just click select point, and it gives you the one waypoint selected. Now we're going to come over here, this totally different group, and they're pretty much right about here. I'll put it in the middle of them, and I'll do another select point. Come over here and kind of get these groups of these guys, select point, and I can put another group of these guys over here, and because they're all tightly grouped, select point, and then these guys are kind of out in the distance. So we'll put select point and put this guy for just fun over here. Okay, so we got 6 points. I don't really see anything. I don't know if I've marked these guys. I think I did. Pretty sure I did. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, so those are the points that we've got. That's a pretty good area. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the view of inside the cockpit. This is important. So this is something that you're going to want to do. First, let's just go ahead and take this mode off of here. You're going to want to go to your HSI, and basically where this is the data, you click on data, and then right over here, you're going to sit there and box precise, and it's going to tell you that you're going to need to be in this particular mode in this format. The other thing you're going to need to make sure is that you're at waypoint 0. If you start at waypoint 3 or 4 or 5 or something like that, it's going to mess you up. It's actually going to pick the waypoints that are actually on the target map. So make sure that you're on 0 waypoint, and then all you have to do is click on begin transfer to DCS, and it's going to give you a warning every single time that's just going to say heads up. It says it needs to be precise, needs to be boxed, which we already did over here, and then you're not in the TAC menu. Okay, so you don't want to be in the menu over here, for example. Don't be in this menu. Okay, let me see if I can brighten this up. Don't be in this menu. So we can be in any other screen other than that, and then you're basically in this coordinate, which you see right here. This is the format. So we just hit continue and watch the magic happen. And we can see all these buttons are kind of like being programmed and pushed. And as it's doing its thing, you can see it's just creating all these different waypoints. Now, some people might be thinking this is cheating, but think about it like this. There was a day, if you remember, back in the day, we actually had to write down instructions, turn left at the Texaco, go a mile, and then you would try to find the White House on the right. And that's how you would find somebody's house. Then they came up with something called MapQuest. Then you had to go and put some kind of coordinates in as an address. You would find it in Google or MapQuest, and then you would print them out, and you would follow the instructions to the T all the way to the target. And then they had something smart put on GPS on your telephone, where somebody could simply just text you the address that you need to go to. You click on it, it knows it needs to go into the map, it automatically puts it in your map, and you just hit go from your range. That's 2023. So there's no reason you shouldn't be using this in DCS. This is as simple, unless you want to live in like the BlackBerry or Motorola Razr days. You can do whatever you want. All right, so once you're in this position, then you're going to want to go to, this is really, really cool. So you got your menu, and we can do a couple things, put it on the SA page, and then we're going to put it back to waypoint 1. That's the first target we're going to want to go to. And I'm going to show you why this is so ridiculously cool. Now, first thing I need to do is I just need to get some weapons. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. I'm just going to make some basic stuff. You definitely need a FLIR pod, an app FLIR pod. So get that on station 4 if you're on the Hornet. And then we're going to go to bombs, and we're going to go ahead and go with these massive penetrator bombs, because why not? Well, we don't really need the penetrator bombs, but we'll do one of those. These are all GPS guided. And then we'll do some more. Let's do some GBU-38s. Let's do some more bombs here. And see if there is some kind of a cluster munition. GPS. Yeah, we'll just do these. We'll do another set of these things. blow those things up. And just take a fuel tank real quick. So let's load that up. I'm not even going to bother selecting any kind of, get rid of this right now. I'm not going to bother selecting anything with like AMRAMs and stuff like that. If I get shot, I get shot. But I'm going into an area where there's pretty much nothing going on. So right now, I'll go ahead and set up my aircraft to get that ready. But this is kind of important because you do need to do a few of these steps. So you don't have to worry about so much of this stuff, as you can do this all in the air. But since you're waiting to be rearmed and be fueled, might as well go ahead and reset all your gear. Get it ready to go. Alright, so we're rearmed complete. So next thing we need to do is turn this up. We're going to go to our air-to-ground mode. And then we're going to make sure that these are in target of opportunity. So we hit step, and then we put it in target opportunity. And we're going to do the same thing with this guy. We're going to put that in target opportunity, step, target opportunity. We're going to go to eFuse, instant, eFuse, instant. And then basically we need to make sure that each one of these guys are counting down so the GPS is good. So this is unstable, it's going to go to fair, and then it's going to go to good. So don't click out of this screen. This is very, very important that you actually leave this exactly the way this is until this actually says good. So leave that screen as is. Things you can do on the other side is you can come over to, well, let's see, because we don't want to screw this up. It's getting there. We'll just follow. I'll just edit the video. One thing we actually can do is we need to do this. If you're using Track IR, you can go to your bit test, turn up your, this guy, it says it's in test, look to the right. I'm sure you guys know how to align your head, but this is how you do it. Once you see that twice, you can come over here, hit the stop button, then you go to menu twice, then you go to HMD, go to align. Up here, you're going to hold your cage on cage once you get it centered. Then hit the align button, and then you're good. So this stuff is good. All right, so now this says we're good to go. If you can see, it says quality good. So we check for the other ones. Everything is good. So we're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and taxi. I'm going to go ahead and put us in armed mode, and this is where it's going to get a lot of fun. So I'm going to come over here. We need to also turn on our FLIR pod. So come down here and just go ahead and turn it on. And then when you go to your menu, go to FLIR. It's not timed out yet, but we can go ahead and start flying to the target. Now this is the best part about the whole gig. Remember, we got Waypoint 1. Okay, this is fantastic. You're going to absolutely love this. This is my favorite part. Alright, so I don't know which way to go. I think I'm just going to go this way. And don't judge me, I'm just doing this for sake of the video, but I'm just going to taxi as fast as I can and just get off this runway so we can start flying. I don't normally do this. I follow the rules, as you should. So, oh look, it is a runway. Oh no, got a little greedy. Alright, so watch this. I'm just going to go full throttle. And this is the best thing in the world. You guys are going to love this. So I'm just going to let it go ahead and auto-rotate. It's coming up on its own. I got my gear up. Flaps up. Now watch the magic. This is the greatest thing ever. You come down here, you click on Waypoint, and then you click on Couple, and it just automatically flies right towards where you're going to bomb. I am not flying the aircraft. I can just look around. You can see I'm not touching the stick. I'm not doing anything. I'm just keeping the degrees of climb. I'm in full burner. Keeping the degrees of climb at 15. You can go a little lower, but we're going to try to climb as fast as we can to get to this target. And while it's climbing, it's going to just level out as soon as it gets to where we need. It does not get any easier than this. And this is why I've been so successful so fast, because I didn't have to keep finding the target in the mountains because I was off course just a little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit. So we're going to go ahead and climb pretty high. let's say 25. And sometimes you'll be on a really cloudy day, sometimes you won't. That'll affect how you're going to view the FLIR. So now we're coming over the FLIR, we're going to go ahead and box this so we can get the FLIR pod on and engaged. Now right now we're in a mode to, as we're flying, everything is good. We don't have to worry about anything. We're just going to wait until it gets to 25. We'll go to the map and you can see, we'll zoom out, this is where we're heading. And you can see I am flying right towards it. There you go. So it looks like I'm about 57 nautical. Back in here. Alright, I'm going to roll out at, keep underneath these clouds. And I'm still, I just came out of couple mode, but all I have to do is get my height where I want it. I can put my ATC on and then put it back in couple mode. You see I'm drifting to the left, put it back in couple and it automatically recorrects. Alright, so this is the best part. Alright, so I'm going to keep it about right here and it's flying dead straight, so we're perfect. Now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to show you what you need to do here. Once you're in a straight and level flight and you're at the altitude that you want, now you can start to look for the targets. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Waypoint Designate, which is right here. Boom. And it's now, your aircraft is no longer in cupper. It's out of autopilot, so just be aware of that. As soon as you do that. Now, what's cool is over here, now you see all your triangles. So now what you're going to do is you're going to come over and you use the sensor select right, so you can make sure you get the diamond on your FLIR pod so you can start controlling it. Then you can use your throttle designator once you have put it into scene mode. So you keep pushing the right button and you can change it to all these different modes. You're going to want this crosshair. So you're going to have a little tiny BB in the center and then these kind of brackets on the top. Now you can see as we're flying to this, we can go zoom in with your FLIR. So you get 3 levels of zoom. And you can see, obviously those are not the targets. You can see how they're moving over the top of the mountains. So they're behind the mountain, but you're getting prepared to see where you're going to go. So you can see right here the IR mode, and you can go to black hot, white hot, and we'll see what it looks like, but we can't even see the targets yet. But what we can do is, since we can see the targets and the targeting, the FLIR pod is actually looking there, we can go back to take off the target, uncage that, go back to waypoint, cage that, and go back to couple, and then it'll automatically go back into autopilot. But you can still come back over here and look at your targets. And so we got in that mode. And again, once you start doing the designation, it'll take it out of the autopilot. So you just got to be aware of that, because when you put this down and you start targeting something, it tells the GPS coordinates where that actual pin is, and that's how you're going to get these things to drop. So we need to make sure the air to ground is on. That always takes your FLIR pod off, which is annoying. So make sure that you have that on, so you're prepared, because you'll be ready to drop these bombs and then nothing will happen. Okay, so we're still getting a little bit closer. I think they're going to be right over this mountain pass. Now if you want to kind of get an idea of how far you are to target, it'll show you right here, okay, about 24 miles. And let's go ahead and confirm that by going on to the F10 map. And we'll draw another line. And we are about 27 miles. So it's a little bit further than that because it's looking at the mountain pass instead. So let's go back to the inside of here. Again, we can see where the diamond is, so we don't really need so much in the autopilot. But we do want to make sure that we can see over this stuff. So we're going to get pretty close pretty soon. And I'm going to drop a bunch of stuff on this stuff. Again, pretty zoomed in, pretty good. So again, it's over this next mountain pass. So it's pretty, you can see actually in the front right here, you're not going to be able to see anything until we get past this. Now if you have a zoom feature like I do on your HOTAS, where you can zoom in like this and see the tiniest little thing, you can see a goat out there. From here you can't see it. So even on the FLIR pod, you still can't see it. So watch how ridiculous I can get this. I can get in here and look at the level of detail by zooming in. I can see that tree clear as a bell versus coming out here, it's kind of just a splot. You don't know what it is. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we're following these details. And let's see where these guys are. And if we lose where we were tracking because we can't see them, we can always go to Target, Waypoint Designate. And we can kind of zoom out. And we're going to start probably seeing a bunch of stuff. There we go. You can see all these things coming over the top of this. So we're at 25. We're armed and ready. Now the trick is, once I click my throttle designator to press, I'm going to start to see these targets come to view. Yep, right there. So now I can zoom in and we can see them. So I can zoom in to these guys. You can see all these guys are on the road. There he is. Look, if I zoom in, it's hard to see, but if I zoom in like this, I can see those are missiles. So I can go ahead and come over here, designate, dropping, pickle, designate, pickle, designate, pickle. I need to come over here, get those guys ready, and then I'm going to get these guys, designate, pickle, go up the road a little bit. I can zoom out, see where some other targets are, and I might be out of range now. But look at what I just destroyed. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Crushing these things. And it's just, you're out of harm's way and you can make another pass. Now let's just say that we destroyed all those targets, right? There goes more stuff. Go to F6. Whoa, somebody got nailed. Caught that one. I think all my bombs are gone. Yep. Either way, so right now, this is the cool part. Let's just say that this whole airfield is cleared. Okay, we're done. We've already blown everything up. Got some other stuff going on. But this is where the way really comes handy. You can just click it back up. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do discard points. So that deletes everything that we selected on the map. And then we're going to go to our, let's put this in a simple heading here. Hold on a second. Pilot. Alright, so I can go to my map. Alright, so this is the best. So I'm going to go to my map again. And let's say we want to fly to Sukhumi. Let's actually see real quick how much crap I got done. Oh yeah. There's only one SA5 there. Yeah, I got rid of a lot of stuff that was there. So that's easy. That's just one pass. I could go back and probably clean up more of that just in one shot. So you can be extremely effective. But anyways, let's go back to Sukhumi. And let's just say we want to go and get these targets now. So again, we're going to get pretty close to them. And we're going to do start selecting on map. Boom. And we're going to put the pink dot right here and do select point. And we're going to put another one over this guy. Select point. And we'll go over here to this tank, select point, and then these SA6s over here. Put them in the center and select point. All right, now we're going to go back to inside here. Now this is important, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to go to the original screen. So we're going to make sure that the data is selected here, and we're going to make sure that this is on 0. You always want to make sure this is on 0. So we go to data. Make sure precise is boxed. Again, make sure that's on 0 because we're going to start new waypoints. And we're going to go to begin transfer to DCS. Boom. It's going to give you that warning again. It's going to do all this stuff for you so you don't have to worry about getting shot down at the same time. And as it's doing its jazz, it's done, I think we did 4 mark points, waypoints. And now that that is all done and entered, this is what we do. We don't even have to look at a map anymore. We just sit there and go to our SA page, go to waypoint 1 that we've created, hit the waypoint, hit couple, and enjoy the flight. Now it's going to fly us right to Sakumi. And it's going to get us in range. We'll do the same thing with our flare pod, see what we see down there. And once we get there, we can drop the rest of these bombs and then RTB. It's really, really that simple. Push this button so you can get back into the front. And that's it. So once it turns into Sakumi, and again, we're still at 25,000. Plenty of fuel. Didn't waste any getting anywhere. But this takes out so much of the stress of flying in DCS because you're doing so many things. It's so, you know, like checking your radar, checking your, you know, what's coming at you, what you're trying to bomb, what you're trying to coordinate, all the different things, fusing your weapons. I mean, you can do all this stuff on the ground. You don't have to manually enter all that stuff. You just go find the targets. You still have to do the dirty work. You still have to fly over the targets and release the bombs to the proper range. But there is one thing that I did not show you, and I apologize. On the screen down here, this will have a window in this operational mode that basically will tell you when you're in range of the particular target. So let's see how far we are actually from here. So let's kind of zoom out and see how long it's going to take us to get there. I don't even know where I'm at. Oh, there I am. Okay. So let's see from here. Looks like I am 47 or 42 nautical. Back here. So now we know that we can get within range and see that stuff. So I'll go ahead and show you what I do to take this out. Let's go back over here. And again, that starts to wobble. Look down here, and we can start to see our points on the ground. Go ahead and zoom in, and we can see some danger stuff there. And again, that's hard to see, but if I just use my slider and zoom in, and actually with the track IR zoom in, we can get really close to that particular target and really start to see what kind of stuff is out there. And we can change this mode, and we can definitely see some radars and some other things out there. So again, we want to be in this particular mode right there, and I'm just going to go ahead and designate that as a target. And that would be impossible. If I was this far away, you're not going to see that on the ground. You're just not. It's so hard to see that. So if you zoom in and really get a good look, we can designate that right there, and now we have our range. So when we look at this down here, put it into 20 miles, this is going to give us a distance to target, which is right over here. So it says time to target is going to be about 1 minute and 20, and then it's going to tell us right here, are we in range? And we are basically flying right towards it. So we're going to go over here. Let's see, let me turn in. Alright, we're right in the money. So we got about 1 minute left. And let's see here. Let's go to our the waypoint 1. It's not showing me. It should be, and I apologize. I'm trying to figure out what I'm not seeing here. There it is. I'm sorry. Okay, so we had to switch into that mode So now you can see that this right here is getting into this right here. So once we get into that, it's going to say we're in range, which is about 20 seconds. When it says in zone, we're going to be ready to go. So we are ready to start dropping some stuff. So look at the top right here. So I'm at 25. It says time 4, 3, 2, 1, and it says in zone, and I can go ahead and pickle. Bombs away. Come back over here. I'm going to designate. Designated and pickle. And let me come over here. Designate and pickle. And I am out of bombs. So let me go ahead and just function F6 this. And let's just see what happens. There's that radar. Ba-boom. And I got him. Anyways, go back in here. And the point is I have not been in any danger, and all I have to do is go home and go land, refuel, rearm, come back and get some more shenanigans. But that, like I said, that is the simplest way of getting to your targets, being able to really zoom in and look that close. I know it's a little ridiculous, but when you can get that close to a target, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I know a lot of people are complaining that they can't see anything with the at-FLIR pod because everything is just so washed out. It's more realistic, but I mean, here's your little hack. If you can zoom in like that, you can definitely see the leaves on a bush. But from this, it's very, very difficult. So, well, I hope that helped. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And sorry if it was a little long-winded, but I just want to show you the advantages of having this kind of a technology. You could even do this if you really wanted to. If you were trying to find an airfield, I didn't even thought about this, but if you're trying to find an airfield, let's do that. Hell, let's do that one last thing. Let's go land at Sanaki, and we'll just go ahead and do this. Not that we're going to take you all the way over there, but we'll just show you one little thing. Probably do this to a carrier, but the carrier is going to be moving, so it doesn't make that much sense to do that. But we'll just go ahead and put this in the general area where we want to land. So we'll put it right over the numbers. And then we'll go to select point. And we'll go back to here. Remember, we've got to go back to the data page. Make sure that we're on waypoint 0. And precise, and then we just go to begin transfer to DCS. Boom. And that shouldn't be a big deal because you'll only do one waypoint. And once that is done, then all we need to do, come over here, go to the SA page, go to waypoint, hit couple, and it's going to fly you home. Tell me that isn't any more ridiculously easy than that. Well, I hope it helps. Idiot out.